Hi, I'm Kevin Abelbeck with Milo Fitness, here to introduce you to our latest product, the Flipper. The Flipper is the first piece of exercise equipment ever designed to simulate tire flipping. It's plate loaded, so you can actually vary the resistance to your athletes.
To plate load the Flipper, remove the spring locking collars, place the desired weight plates on the weight pins, and replace the spring locking collars. Here we have one 45-pound plate on each weight pin on one end of the Flipper and no plates on the other end. First lift to demonstrate is the standard lift. On a standard lift, the lifter approaches one end of the Flipper centered on that end. For this demonstration, you can see we have removed the weight plates. With a spotter standing by, the lifter, with head up, arms and back straight, drives one end of the Flipper up. This is the first pull phase of the lift. From here, the second pull phase begins. This is the highest power output phase of the lift. During this movement, the hips and legs extend rapidly to pop the Flipper up. The next phase is the transition phase. Here the grip is changed from an underhand palms up grip to an overhand palms down grip. Finally, the push phase. The lifter's arms extend to drive the Flipper over. In real time, it looks like this. In this sequence of lifts, the lifter and the spotter trade places after every lift. The spotter's job is to step in and offer assistance to the lifter if the lifter cannot complete the lift. A number of lifting and testing drills are available in the training manual on our website at milofit.com. In all lifts, the lifter should maintain proper form, with the hips below the shoulders during the first pull. Proper biomechanics are also detailed in the training manual. Here the lifters are using a lighter weight. When the Flipper is loaded with additional weight, the lifter may need to perform multiple second pulls. Here the lifter was unable to make one continuous motion to the transition phase. An additional second pull is used to drive the Flipper up to the transition phase. Foot positions may vary from 1 to 2 feet back from the handles to just a few inches behind the handles. There are advantages to each, and they are discussed in detail in the training manual. Gloves may be worn. The grips may also vary. Here a narrow underhand sumo grip is shown, followed by a wider underhand grip, followed by a wider neutral grip. Some athletes prefer a pronated grip, as is used with many Olympic-style lifts. Ultimately, the hand grip used should be determined by the strength coach. The 2-on-1 duel is a conditioning drill where one lifter does twice the work of the other two. Here one TS-03 is in a docking station and a TS-04 is on the ground. This may be done with any combination of two flippers, in or out of the docking stations. One advantage to using a docking station is single arm lifts may be performed, similar to a kettlebell throw. This video shows a timed 10 repetition cycle. Single arm lifts are performed on the docking station and standard double arm lifts with the Flipper on the ground. The two lifters flip their flippers 10 repetitions each. The primary lifter alternates between the two flippers for a total of 20 repetitions. For example, a good 10 repetition cycle time with unloaded flippers is under 90 seconds. An excellent time is under 70 seconds. After completing the 10 repetition cycle, the lifters rotate one position. This allows the primary lifter to actively recover while the other lifter becomes the primary lifter. As we have shown, the Flipper may be used for traditional flips using either a vertical lift with the feet close to the bumper and an overhand grip, or a driving lift with the feet back, body against the pad, and a neutral grip. Now with the sled receivers mounted to your Flipper, it may also be converted to a push-pull or wheelbarrow sled in seconds. The new sled receivers may be mounted to one, or as shown here, both ends of your Flipper. The sled receivers in no way inhibit traditional use of the Flipper, as the receivers were on the Flipper while it was being flipped. Skids may be added to any of the receivers. Here we are preparing the Flipper to be used as a wheelbarrow sled. Skids are being attached to the top as well as the bottom, so the sled may be driven and flipped over. This flipping wheelbarrow is unique to the Flipper. Here, a hurry-up offense drill is being performed with 3 athletes. The first lifts with a neutral grip and the body against the pad. He drives forward several yards and then with one explosive move flips the flipper over, where the next athlete is waiting. This cycle of explosive movement and a short rest may be continued for any number of repetitions for time. Any number of athletes may participate, but 3 is optimal as it minimizes the rest period. To apply more drag to the flipper wheelbarrow sled, load the weight pins nearest to the skids. It will increase the drag and make the flipper sled harder to push. If you want to increase the lifting force and carrying load to the athlete, place weight plates on the end opposite to the skids. This will provide more weight for the athlete to lift and carry as they drive forward and flip. In a matter of seconds, the wheelbarrow sled may be converted to a sled that may accommodate from 1 person to as many as 5 people. To convert to a 5-man sled, simply remove the skids from the top and put them on the bottom of both ends. Handles may be positioned narrow or wide on one or both ends. If 1 person is used to push the sled, a narrow handle position may be used. For multiple users, a wide position may be preferred. To change the position of any handle, simply unlock, remove, and rotate the handle. Then lock the handle back into the sled receiver. 2 people may drive the sled from the rear or the front. Here the coach can see if 1 athlete slacks off, as the sled will steer toward the slower side. Here 4 people are driving the flipper sled by the 4 handles with a 5th athlete positioned on the back. He may use a high, medium, or low hand position. The flipper sled can be driven in either direction. There is no need to spend time turning the sled around. The athletes can simply turn around and drive in the opposite direction. As an alternative, as shown here, the athletes may shift positions at every end. Any type of uneven loading will put more drag on that corner, side, or end, with all athletes still working together. Uneven loading is a unique process to this type of functional training, only available with the flipper. Here 2 athletes of different strength potentials may be trained at the same time. Think of training a lineman and a running back together as a team. To prepare the flipper, load the weight plates on each weight pin as shown, locking them in place with the spring locking collars. Do the same for the weight pins on the other end as directed by the loading charts. 1 45-pound plate has been loaded on each weight pin on one end and a 10-pound plate on each weight pin on the other end, providing 2 simultaneous flipper loading weights. You can see each lifter rotates between lifter and spotter, except when changing direction, a lifter lifts twice. One option is to have multiple paired lifts in one direction, upon which a second team takes over, flipping in the opposite direction. This relay and other training drills, as well as instructions on using the loading charts, are all described in the flipper training manual. The side lift is an excellent movement for core strength and power development for athletes. The side lift requires 2 lifters, 1 on each side of the flipper. The hand grip is an underhand grip on the back handle and an overhand grip on the side handles. The first pull is similar to the standard lift. This readies the flipper for the high power second pull. The second pull varies from the standard lift as the front hip opens up while the body rotates into the lift. The transition phase allows the back hand to go from an underhand grip to an overhand grip. This is followed by the push phase to throw the flipper over. It may be desirable to designate a leader to give the command ready go or ready lift, so both lifters work as a synchronous team. Also make sure each lifter does the same number of lifts on each side. This can be accomplished by the 1 out and 1 back drill as shown here. For more information, products, and manuals, visit our website at milofit.com.
Come on, come on! on! Come on! Let's go, let's go! All the way, keep it in line, let's go! Come on! Come on, let's go!
All the way through! All right, go, next guy!
Let's go, let's go! Keep it straight, let's go, let's go!